Yeah, let's take a quick overview, if you like, of all the different MCOBs. That's the Mortgage Conduct of Business Rules. I put them up here for you, MCOBs, and I've got all 13 here. I just want to give you a brief description of them all, really, before you dive into detail. Now, the Mortgage Conduct of Business Rules, known as Mortgages and Home Finance Conduct of Business Sourcebook. These are the rules that govern mortgage advice, and they've been around since 2004. They're amended with MCD in 2016, so you need to know a little bit about that as well. So let's just take a look at some of these and chat about them and all those good things. Now the first one, MCOB 1, is pretty much kind of like an index, really. This is your application, here we go, and purpose. So there's always a prelude, really. It's a bit like the introduction in a book, isn't it? So don't worry at all about MCOB 1. MCOB 2 is your general conduct of business standards, so your general standards of conducting business. So again, not worry too much about that. You do have MCOB 2A, which is the standards that affect the Mortgage Credit Directive, MCD. These are for second charge firms that have come into the MCOB rules from 2016 onwards. So where you see MCOB 2A, that's the MCD section, and that's the rules that affect those firms that have joined as a result of being a second charge firm, that sort of thing. I won't worry about too much about that. MCOB 3 is a big one as well. MCOB 3 is financial promotions. Here we are. This is a huge one, really. You need to get to know that one. Financial promotions and all the rules about advertising and prospecting for business and communicating with customers. Again, there's an MCOB 3A, which looks at the MCD side of things as well. MCOB 4 is probably one of the most important ones, and that's advising and selling standards. So if you're involved in advising, you take the advice risk, then you need to be very comfortable with MCOB 4, which obviously has MCOB 4A, additional MCD advising and selling standards for those companies caught under the MCD banner. Very much similar to the main ones as well. Again, talk about that in some detail when you get there as well. MCOB 5 is disclosure. There's a number of disclosure MCOBs. Now this one looks at pre-application. So before you applied for the mortgage, you need to disclose certain information, certain costs, etc. That's known as MCOB 5 disclosure. MCOB 6 is also disclosure. There you go. But this one is at the offer stage. And that talks about what you put in the offer, the binding offer, the new ESIS, that sort of thing comes into it as well. Again, you have MCOB 6A, which talks about the new ESIS, the European Standardised Information Sheet. That's disclosure. MCOB 7 is also disclosure. There's an awful lot of disclosing going on here. But that one, as you can appreciate, is at the start of the contract. So that's after completion. So I should put it there for you. So that's all the disclosure that goes on once the mortgage is completed, and plus the annual tariff reminders, those sort of things as well. Quite a lot of detail in there. Those are really important ones. 8, 9 and 10, not that important. 8 and 9 covers equity release, which of course has been authorised and regulated for a long time now. Again, if you're doing the equity release paper, you need to know about that as well. MCOB 10 is the APR. How do we calculate the annual percentage rate? And now, of course, we've got the annual percentage rate of charge. Annual percentage rate of charge, let's put that in there for you, which came in under MCD. Just a different way of calculating it, really. Easy enough, isn't it? 11 is responsible lending. Now, this is the first one that we've got, which affects the lender. Now, remember, in the mortgage business, you've got two types of risk, really. You've got advice risk and you've got the lending risk. The advice risk is done by the advisor, by the mortgage broker. Call them what you like. They take the advice risk, whereas the lender takes the lending risk, which is why they have to have decision in principle mechanisms to ensure that they are a responsible lender. Now, that was never beefed up under mortgage market review. They just underlined what was already there in many situations. They put a few extra bits in there as well. There's MCOB 11A, which is additional sort of MCD requirements as well. But responsible lending has always been there, except from 2004 to 2007, most lenders just ignored it, and the regulator didn't seem to have too much worry about it going on either. They were more interested in treating customers fairly than the lending that was getting out of control. But anyway, such is life. But that's MCOB 11. Number 12 is charges. So not massive charges. And the last one, 13, is arrears and possession. Arrears and possession of property. So that's, again, the lender when you take a property into possession, when they've not been paying their money, what they have to do for arrears, protocols, that sort of thing. So as you can appreciate, the whole market is covered by MCOB, unlike the COBs, which covers just the advice. This is designed for lenders and advisors, brokers. The ones that you do need to be really comfortable with, and I'll maybe highlight this in red for you. Definitely financial promotion, advising standards, yes. You've got to have your disclosure under control as well. Responsible lending, definitely charges, and arrears and repossessions when you're looking at your CMAP 2. So I wouldn't worry about the ones that I've underlined there for you. They're the ones you need to have a fair bit of detail on. And we've got videos which cover those in some detail as well for you to enjoy. Hope you found that useful and enjoyable-ish. Bye.